Hello, we've got another match here with Mono Green Infect. This time we are running against Scapeshift. We lost the roll here. So we have Double Forest, Ichthyormere, Sylvan Scrying, Mutagenic Growth, another Ichthyormere, and the Vines of Vastwood. Yeah, definitely run with this. Not the best of hands, not the fastest, but certainly decent. Draw Cathedral of War, tapped. There's no particular disadvantage of doing so. Run out our Mir. So tomorrow comes off Suspend, and opponent plays a Valakut. Yeah, definitely on Scapeshift, as I mentioned. We're able to block our Ichthyor with his Sakura Tribe Elder, which is somewhat annoying. And going to scrying up an Inkmoth. I suppose I could have got another Cathedral, maybe. We should have gone all in on our Mir rather than trying to diversify our threats, but against Scapeshift I'm always worried about sort of sweepers, Anger of the Gods, that kind of thing. So I've got Cryptic Mana up, which is always worrying. Doesn't look like he's going for it here though. It's got Remand. I'll go for a Scrying, but double Remand, which is pretty bad news, and our opponent has Scapeshift here, so yeah, not a great deal we could have done about that with the hand we had. Pretty nice for him. He had the counter magic, he had the lands, he had the Tribe Elder to slow our roll, and yeah, unfortunately that did not work out too great for us, and our opponent has a quick Scapeshift win. So yeah, lost on turn 5 there, which not the best. So game 2, we have this hand, not the fastest or the most exciting, but given that he probably doesn't have a ton of removal, and I think we're okay to run with this. Zero Scrying. I Scrying here because I'm a little bit worried about Spell Snare. Maybe the Mir would have been better, just because even if he did Spell Snare then we'd go for Inkmoth. But I could see an argument either way. I think as it turns out he doesn't have Spell Snare, he just took a life just to kind of be a scare. Maybe he has Bolt, I'm not so sure, but one explores into a breeding pool. I'm going to play them there. Stick a Rancor on it. Opponent plays a Tribe Elder, and then bulks the Mir. Unfortunately we can't save it with Mutagenic Growth, so just going to have to take that. But fortunately with that 4th land we can actually win here. We've got Inkmoth into Groundswell, into Giant Growth, into Mutagenic Growth, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is perfect. Our opponent only has 1 blue mana open, and short of a Vapor Snag, I can't think of what he could have that would really stop us. A Spell Pierce, I suppose, as well would be another possible thing to stop us, but really nothing that could truly disrupt us, as it were. It still seems like a good play regardless, so get the Groundswell, attack, Giant Growth, Mutagenic Growth, and yeah, turn 4 win. So that was a nice and quick one. As a retaliation for his turn 5 win. So let's go on to game 3. We end up having to mulligan down to 5, which is one of the harsher things about the deck. Obviously, if you don't draw one of your Infect creatures, pretty much have to mulligan, because otherwise what you're left with is a bunch of pump spells and not a whole lot else. So this isn't a too bad a mull to 5, but obviously mulling to 5 is not something that is in our favour. Try and run out my Ichthyormere here. Our opponent has Ancient Grudge, which is pretty awful for us. Yeah, definitely do not like to see that. Can kill everything but Glistener Elf, basically. I'm still going to get my income off with Sylvan Scrying, as at the very least we're going to have to try and burn him out of these Ancient Grudge activations. But yeah, I'm just kind of playing the waiting game, which definitely isn't good against the deck with counter spells and Scapeshift, which I can't do anything about. I'm basically looking for Vines of Vastwood or a Apostle's Blessing, something to protect my Glomir. We draw the Vines of Vastwood, so no better time than now to go for it, really. I'm figuring he's probably not going to be expecting Guttural Response, so might be able to get there, is what I'm hoping at least. So, putting Ancient Grudges, I decided to play Vines of Vastwood kicked. It might have been better not to kick it, as it works out, but at the time I was thinking it's probably unlikely that it would come back to bite me, but it turns out that it does, which is fairly unfortunate. If I was playing it safe, I suppose I would have not kicked the vines, as it wasn't completely necessary. So what happens is he tries to remand my vines. I use Guttural Response on that. He responds with a Bolt, which means I have to Giant Growth, and then he has Cryptic, which he uses to bounce my income off. I'm not sure why he bounces rather than just counters the Giant Growth, which would be quite a lot better under the circumstances. Gets rid of the income off permanently, but yeah, he bounce draws, all these spells get countered basically. I get to replay my income off, but yeah, if I'd left the extra green open by not kicking vines, then we could have Gutturaled his Cryptic, and then I suppose we'd have only attacked for one ultimately, so not the most exciting, but I think the main thing is we burnt a lot of cards out of his hand, which seems good, provided he doesn't draw Scapeshift, which doesn't look like he has just yet. Playing Moth, I go to Rancor it, but unfortunately he has a second Grudge, which is pretty annoying. I've got a Glistener Elf, which is the one Infect creature that doesn't die to Ancient Grudge, so definitely great to draw that. Punt has a Snapcaster Mage for his Bolt, so definitely got a lot of answers going on, but I can Pendlehaven plus Mutagenic Growth to save my Glistener Elf. Punt's last card is Echoing Truth, which I'm going to counter with a response. Potentially could have saved it, but I kind of don't want him to be able to buy too many turns, given that Scapeshift is just lethal. Use Pendlehaven on the Glistener Elf before attacking, so I can get the bonus. He's just going to block with Snapcaster, and looks like he drew Scapeshift, so that's going to be just enough for lethal. So fortunately we're going to lose out here. It was a fun game, quite tense. Really was impressed with Guttural Response in this matchup. Certainly countering Cryptics and remands and things is liked how the match played, but yeah, unfortunately we're on the losing end. The combination of counter magic plus lightning bolts was a bit too much for the deck, and yeah, a narrow defeat, but a defeat unfortunately, but a good game.